Open up.
All right, people, what's up?
Don't know which one to look at.
So yeah, this is a little podcast with my friend. You can introduce yourself.
I'm Christie on social platforms. That's what I go by. I don't really know what I am, to be honest. I'm just a thinker, I would say. That probably best describes me as somebody who likes to study and think and research and speak to interesting people.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, cool guy. And obviously I'm Ben. I'm a coach, help guys with personal development and things of that nature. And yeah, today we're just going to talk about some topics, kind of dive into some juicy topics. So
100%. I mean, me and Ben usually when we speak anyway, we go off on have some mad conversations. We've done a podcast in the past where we've spoken about certain things. Now is obviously pretty much another conversation like that, but at least it's on film. Usually some of the best podcasts we've probably ever recorded haven't even been on camera. It's just been me and you speaking.
Yeah.
So
well, that's why I wanted to do it, because I thought we always talk and I'm like, man, this is such a juicy conversation.
100%, man, because we think very similarly and we actually think about situations, which is obviously important today, I think.
Yeah. Do you have a question in mind you want to, or a topic you want to start with?
I mean, yeah, I guess we'll probably start with what is your why? That's something that I did ask you over text that I wanted to discuss with you, because I look at you as somebody who's obviously got quite a lot of motivation and inspiration to do what you do in terms of helping young men and just men in general. And one of the things that I don't know about you, although I've known you for over a year and we've had numerous conversations, I've never asked you, why do you do what you do? Obviously, I know roughly why you got into self-improvement yourself, but I don't know why you want to help other people. So that was something that's actually of interest to me.
Yeah, it's a good question. To be honest, I'd say it's more like partially financially. Like, you know, I had the same question on my other podcast.
I saw you uploaded that.
It's the icky guy. It's like, okay, you know, let's be real. I don't necessarily wake up and think, right, I want to help people like crazy. But it's more of a case of like, okay, what am I good at? What can I get paid for? What does the world need? And what do I enjoy? So, and that coaching and personal development and helping people grow in that space is something I'm good at.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I can be paid for it, you know, through a business perspective, and it's needed, you know, because there's a real problem with guys, and I've seen what I can do and how much I can help people. So it kind of just spiraled from there. And the more I've done this sort of thing, yeah, I've just had a desire to kind of, you know, I just see a lot of, I just have a different perspective. Like you probably know from talking to me, like I don't feel like following the crowd. That's one thing I've realized is like you got to pave your own path, listen to your own heart, and just do what you know is right for you, even if that goes against what everyone else is doing.
What do you think?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does make sense. I want to add on to that because I think the self-improvement manosphere, men's space is quite busy right now. There's a lot of new people coming online, sharing their opinions, sharing their views. What do you think makes you different in terms of what you offer and the points of view that you maybe think are different to what other people are sharing within the space?
I like to be as authentic as possible. I like to be as real as possible. Like I'm not going to be sat here saying stuff that I don't necessarily embody myself. Yeah. So what makes me different, I'd say, is that to begin with, because a lot of people just talk and they don't actually back it up with what they're saying, which limits you. Like if you're actually genuinely authentic, you realize like it kind of shows you for like where you actually are. Yeah. So there's that. Also, I think because I'm young as well, like so I can relate to younger people. Yeah. And that's what I see. That's what guys of my age want. They want just guidance. They want accountability. They want groups of men. That's the problem today. Is although we have social media, we're all so isolated. We don't get an opportunity to sharpen our iron with someone else that is on a similar level. It's like a lot of guys do, like yourself, you know, how we have slightly different perspective. We've got a little bit more motivation, a little bit more desire to, but it's like the rest of the group we're around doesn't feel that way. And it's like, how can I create a group that has guys just like that in the group? And that's kind of what is missing. And you can kind of see it now. People are like forming groups and like, there's like communities where people like have meetups and things like that. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a big issue. Just lack of brotherhood, you could say, in today's world amongst men. And obviously, we've all heard Tate go on about, oh yeah, like men grew up in tribes and stuff like that. And it's so true. Do you get what I'm saying? We're a lot stronger when we're together, connected with one another, than when we are separated and isolated. The issue that you find nowadays is the fact that, like you said, it's very rare to find people that are actually all on the same page and all motivated and all wanting to go after the same thing, mainly because there's so many distractions nowadays compared to what it was back in the day. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think another thing is that, like, not everyone, this is something I've thought about, it's like not everyone's actually got, like, for some reason you have that, you see that vision of like, I could be this, or if I focused here, I could do this. Whereas a lot of people, for some weird reason, are just like content with where they're at and they don't really think bigger. And I think that's a lot of limiting beliefs like that are put on us growing up. But that's the issue I find is like, you know, when I first started in school, it was like the friends you hang around back then, like, are not the friends that I like call upon now. You know, some of them, but like the majority of them, it's like they haven't grown. You know, they peaked early, and it's like, yeah, that back end of growth is where it's like exponent. It's like a longer journey of like growing.
No, 100%. I mean, I think me and you might have spoken about this before, but I've had this conversation with numerous people. But 90% of people, I'll say 80 to 90% of people, peaked in fucking high school. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. They never progressed beyond that point of high school, and they don't realize what's on the other side of that. I mean, there is a certain period that you need to go through where it is a bit shit because you need to work on yourself and improve and get your money up and little things like that. But once you've crossed a certain barrier, you get into what first man would say is the male advantage, or just, I don't even know, I wouldn't even call it that. I would just say you just become an adult man. Do you get what I'm saying? You start doing adult shit. And adult shit is a lot more fun than shit that you used to do in high school. When I was in high school, I'd go to my friend's house, we'd fucking get high as a kite, play FIFA and order a Domino's. That was 10-10 activity back then. Yeah. Whereas nowadays, it's like some of the events I get invited to, you might go Soho House for a few drinks, meet up with someone like yourself, and we'll go for a cigar and have like a mature conversation. Do you get what I'm saying? That's a lot more entertaining than the stuff I used to do back in the day. Obviously, finance makes that possible and just becoming more mature. But a lot of people now, they're still stuck in that high school mentality where they think, oh yeah, I remember back in the day we used to do this and that. It's like, mate, they were shit activities compared to what you can do now as a grown man. And it's about doing that transition, which a lot of people never do. They never do that. They just go from high school, then they fucking live that life for maybe 5, 10, 15 years, still doing the same shit. They get a missus, knock her up, have a few kids, and Bob's your uncle, they move on. Their kids do the fucking same shit. Do you get what I'm saying? But there is a period where if you can cross it over and enter into a world of maturity, I would say, as a man and even as a woman, life is so much better when you go there. Traveling is better. Even just having general conversations, fucking dinner parties and shit like that. Do you get what I'm saying? That's stuff you didn't do when you were younger. But it's a lot more entertaining than a lot of the shitty stuff you done in high school, in my opinion anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, when I was in school, I wasn't particularly like, I was quite socially awkward. Like I struggled. I did eventually get into those groups, you know, do all those things, like go get high as a kite, like do dumb shit. And like, it's weird because that's what I always wanted. Like at the time in my head, I was like, if I could just be in the cool kids group, like I would genuinely be happy. And
yeah,
I got in and I did all the things I wanted to do. And I was happy. Like I was like, this is sick. You know, this is what I sort of should be doing at that age. But then got to a point where I was like, okay, there's more. Like, do you know what I mean? There's more. And there's like, you know, there's that hunger for more growth. And it's like, what can I actually accomplish? And I really do believe environment. That's one thing I've learned. As you know, I'm just turned 23. The biggest thing I've clocked onto is environment is huge. Like, you just need to get around winners. You need to get around guys that inspire you or help you, mentor you. You know, and not it doesn't have to. You don't have to make it. You know, to actually build relationships, not just to like, okay, this person offered me this person offered me that. Like that's no way to be. You want to find people that you actually like. You can build a relationship with, but at the same time, you respect them, you admire them. They push you, they motivate you. That's really the kind of like network you want to build. Yeah, because I haven't done a ton of networking. Like, I haven't gone to like dinners or anything like that. I've just sort of encountered people because the thing is, you got to ask yourself, like, why would this person want to network with you? Yeah, like it's not just about them. What do you bring to the table? Like what? And I think even sometimes it's just bringing good energy, being positive, being optimistic, just having a good aura about you. People, they just gravitate towards you. Like I think that's something people don't understand.
But I think we're in a blessed period in history because we have the internet nowadays, and that opens up so many doors for what you just said. If you are willing to go online, share your worldviews and the way you see the world and things like that, you're going to be able to meet up with people that have similar views.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have met you if it wasn't for me doing that and for you doing that and us striking up a relationship. Now you're one of my closest friends I would consider.
Yeah,
and we share a very similar path and similar views about the world, and we motivate each other to get better. That would not have fucking been possible 10 or 15 years ago. And there's a lot of people who probably do want to speak about their views online who are skeptical of doing so because, what are people going to think of me? It's like, yeah, there is that side of things, and you're going to need to deal with that when that comes up. But the other side of things is you get an opportunity to meet people that actually genuinely think the way that you think. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%.
And that's something that you would not fucking be able to do 10, 15 years ago, which is obviously a massive advantage of being willing to go on a podcast or put your views out on social media and obviously find like-minded people.
Yeah, and I think being polarizing is it's kind of like hit or miss. It's like you're either going to completely push someone away or you're going to make them be like, no, this guy. And that's the thing I think in life you have to accept is not everyone is going to like you. Some people are going to click on my page and think this guy's a fucking retard. This guy's some spastic. But if I sit in the middle and I try and please everyone, then you get either people that don't like you probably still won't like you, and the people that would have liked you would just be lukewarm because you never actually put it all on the table. But if you just be 100% polarizing, like, this is what I think, this is what I feel, and it's not easy to do. Like I wouldn't even say I'm fully doing it myself.
Yeah.
But like when you do it, that's where you attract, because you're being just being real. That's where you attract like the right people.
Yeah.
To a degree, obviously. Like, don't go crazy with it.
Being polarizing is very challenging, especially for somebody who's relatively conscious, I would say, because you realize that everything in life, to a degree, has a certain gray area to it. Do you get what I'm saying? So when you're polarizing your audience to get clicks and this, that, and the third, you're actually not telling the full truth of the situation. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that a lot of people do. They're willing to fucking go out there and get fame quickly by saying shit that's not 100% true, and they know it's not 100% true, just to play the algorithm and play the game, which I have to respect that. That's just part of the game, and that's good marketing, right? It's tapping into human biology and things like that. But it is tough. It is something that you have to go through. And over the last year, it's something that I've fucking just accepted now. It's just part of the course if you want to go online and speak your views and actually build an audience. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, controversy sells, as they say. Like it's like, if you go on TikTok, if you look at the algorithm, comments are going to get you. Like if you want to get 1 million views, like comments is what gets you views. So someone could comment, you're this, you're that, negative or positive, either way, it's good, because the algorithm doesn't know if it's a good comment or a bad comment. It doesn't. So that's probably why a lot of stuff is quite controversial, and that's why people just do dumb and very polarizing. TikTok is strange. Like,
I think Twitter's X.
I literally just downloaded that.
Yeah, delete it,
bro. What the fuck, bro? People are getting shot. Like,
no, X is a fucking cesspit of degeneracy, man. Proper.
Like,
but some people just say that's your timeline, which, to a degree, you could probably say that's true, but at the same time, there's just a lot of degenerate views.
I only just downloaded it. I've already got a video of some guy getting shot, or people getting beaten up. I'm like, bro. But like the thing with me is, like I said about your energy and like that, like I'm very conscious of what I'm consuming, whether that be food, whether that be media, whether that be music. Everything is like you're absorbing it. So like if I'm watching a video of someone getting shot, like that's going to actually have an effect on how I carry myself.
Yeah.
Like, that's negative energy. Like I don't really want to see someone getting shot. Like that's just strange. Like I don't know why people, and if people watch that stuff and they're like enjoying it, that's a bit fucked up. And like people are just fucked up. Like in their animalistic nature, they're fucked. They just want to see someone get beaten up. They just want to see someone get hit by a car. It's like, bro, that's a person. Like that's someone's daughter. That's someone's son. It's it's
let me
strange.
ask you, think about it like this in terms of saying people are fucked up. You're somebody who trains 5 to 7 times a week. You meditate, you read, you fucking do a lot of good habits. You don't watch any of the bullshit online, corn and all of this nonsense, right? You've got your head screwed on. And you fucking find it difficult to be disciplined and keep your mindset 100%, as do I. Imagine somebody that's never spent 1 fucking ounce of energy doing any of the shit that you've done before.
Yeah.
Imagine what their state of mind is like if you still find it difficult doing what you do.
It's a good point, yeah.
That shows you the state of some of these people that are online and writing views. You get what I'm saying? And that's obviously what leads to certain people watching these videos on Twitter, or just degeneracy full stop. It's just lack of fucking self-work and introspection. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's where that term, you heard the term NPC.
Yeah,
like,
man.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's true. It is true. And I don't think it's a bad thing, because in a society, you can't have a society full of winners. And that's not necessarily me saying that to say that I don't want people to win. I mean, fucking hell, man. You know me better than anyone to know that I want to see people win. Do you get what I'm saying? But for society to work in an optimum fashion, you need people at all levels of the hierarchy. You need somebody that could serve the coffee. You need somebody that could sweep the streets. You need somebody that is willing to do shit jobs that maybe me and you aren't willing to do. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it makes society function. So when you say NPCs, they are part of just society full stop. But they're, yeah, I mean, that's just been the same throughout time. Not everybody is the king or the queen of the world. Do you get what I'm saying? That's just a fact of reality.
What would you say is a way to not become an NPC, or to break out of that cycle?
First and foremost is just becoming aware of what you're doing. That is step number one, is taking responsibility for your life. I mean, when you get onto self-improvement or trying to improve yourself, make your life better, the first step in all of it is to take responsibility for your condition. That is the number one thing you can do, because the moment you do that, you have the ability to respond, which is obviously what responsibility is, right?
Definitely.
So if you see yourself with a level of income that you're not happy with, the way to change that is to take responsibility for that, which gives you the ability to respond. That could just mean, and that you might be limited in the action that you can take to change it, right? Maybe you live in a fucking third world country and there's not a lot of opportunity for you. So you're limited in action, but you're not limited in the ability to respond. So that could just be a change in mindset. Okay, I'm going to save 20 cents of every dollar that I receive, for example, right? And that sets you on the right track. So it doesn't matter what level of society you're at. If you have the ability to respond, you can start making a change. And I think to not be an NPC, it starts with that first and foremost. If you're overweight, it's the same thing.
So just being conscious, being in the driver's seat rather than
100%.
Someone else driving your life for you.
100%. And that's all of what self-improvement actually is. You want to improve your ability to respond to situations, right? You want to be healthier. Instead of being told what pills to take and fucking antidepressant drugs and this, that, and the third, you've got a healthy body. You don't require any of that shit. Do you get what I'm saying? Or instead of being told what time to get out of bed and head to the office like a fucking slave, you're making your own money. So no one can tell you nothing either. Do you get what I'm saying? That is what self-improvement is all about. That is the foundation of it. Is that as a thought process?
100%. Yeah, no, I agree. And I think also too, it's following your own path, like doing what you want to do. Like, because I also think there are NPCs in the self-improvement space where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be like Tate. I need to get the Rolex. I need to get this. I need to get that. And it's like, I literally said this in my reel. You probably saw it. It's like, what do you actually want though? Do you really want those things? Do you actually care? By all means, if you know, get a nice watch. You know, I'm sure I will buy one day eventually. But it's like, do what's right for you and follow that. And it's like, actually, how do you even listen to that? How do you even know what's you and what's like just conditioning from like the outside world? You know.
Yeah, I mean, that is a fucking great point. And I did see that video that you done with the gentleman that you done the podcast with before. And it's something I've been thinking. I'm actually going to write an article soon titled Self-Improvement Isn't a Linear Path. Because a lot of people do exactly what you said. They see people like Tate or Iman Gaji and all these different people online saying, oh yeah, get your fucking Audemars Piguet or Patek Philippe and wear Loro Piana or get a fucking Lamborghini and this, that, and the third. And they think that's the life they want to live. But I believe everybody on the planet has got a fingerprint-specific set of values that is intrinsic to them and them only. And that leads them to want different things. I saw a video from Hamza recently where he was talking about buying a fucking farm in Scotland to raise his children. He's 26 years old. He's a multimillionaire. He could easily go to Dubai and live the party lifestyle and do this, that, and the third. But he wants to be a man who has a farm in Scotland. And it's funny, he was telling his audience, oh yeah, like we should all live in this way. We should all go to the farm and fucking raise cattle and this, that, and the third. It's like, fuck that, mate. That's for you. Do you get what I'm saying? And I have no problem with that. And I actually respect him for saying that.
How do you know it's actually for him?
Huh?
How do you know that's actually what he wants?
Because he's actually introspective enough to journal and write shit down as to what he wants to do. He wants to be a father, for example. He's got a missus, and he's going against the grain as to what other people within his space are doing. That's why I believe it is a true value to him.
But I also think a lot of that stuff, like getting a farm and having kids, is actually people just clocking on that like the system is designed to, you know, there's like, it's just, people just want to like, they like the idea of being a rebel in the modern sense of that. But like, again, is it actually like, you know, because I could say, oh yeah, I want to live on a, but I don't. I definitely don't want to live on a farm.
100%.
Why would I want to live on a farm? Like, that's just so much effort. Like, why would I want to go live on a farm when I can literally just walk down the road and get milk?
Yeah.
Like, and I know it's like we want to be tradition and we respect tradition and the good things it has, but I'm just thinking, wait a minute, like that's why I'm going to make my life more difficult than it needs to be, you know?
Yeah, but that's you. No, but that's you as a person. That's the whole point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
You're different to him, right? And he's different to me, and I'm different to you. We're all different to each other. So I think when you're studying self-improvement, you shouldn't look at the mentors within the space, the Tates, the Imam Gajis, the Hamzas, and take inspiration from their lifestyle. What you should take inspiration from are the principles that led them to get to the point where they can have the lifestyle that they choose. Yeah. So you can replicate that. Okay, what are the mechanics of money? What are the mechanics of male-female dynamic? What are just social dynamics and networking dynamics, right? And learning the principles of all of that stuff. From there, you can create your own dream life, which is going to be different to theirs, but it's still built upon the same principles that allowed each of them to achieve their own dream lives. That's where you should be putting your attention, but not necessarily thinking, oh, I want to be in fucking Dubai with Imam Gaji on the palm. So you get what I'm saying? It's like, fuck that, mate. That's for him, right? Sit down with yourself, understand what you want out of life, then use the principles that underlie everything to get your own dream life. That's my take on it.
Yeah, no, I agree. We'll change topic in a sec, but I also think there is an unconscious desire to be amongst the winners, be amongst, you know, because at the end of the day, like Imam Gaji is quite well known because he's famous, he's rich, and he's incredibly young to have done it. And he's done it in a way that is sort of only recently you have access to these abilities. You know, before to get rich, you had to go down a long route to get there. So, you know, and naturally as human beings, we're always trying to maximize efficiency, minimize time and effort. So if our brain clocks, oh, wait, why am I going to go and do this job every single day when I could just make an online business? But, you know, if only it was that simple. Like if only it was just like, oh yeah, I'll just start a business, you know, like, anyway, what would you say, what do you think about the state of dating in the modern world, and what are some of the key pitfalls you see?
You're trying to get me cancelled, Ben. You're trying to get me cancelled, mate. Modern day dating. Fuck it.
Yeah, no. Got to be conscious of the time. You've got to get down to it.
Get down to the nitty gritty of it. Modern day dating is obviously a bit of a shit show at the moment, I would say. And metrics obviously show that. The main reason for it, if you want my just underlying no fluff, no bullshit answer, and look, it's a lot deeper than this, but I would say it's just down to weak men, essentially. And I don't blame men. Well, obviously, you have to kind of blame men for that. But at the same time, I think society's obviously made it that way, where there's a lot of things that they're doing in society today from a government perspective and lifestyle perspective that they're pushing on people, which leads them to be weak in terms of estrogenics in water and food and the stuff we consume, which is lowering testosterone, the education system. I mean, we could go on and on and on about the ways that men have just been fucking trampled on and made them tame and weak, right? Yeah. And when you have weak men, obviously they're a lot easier to control, and they're worse, or they don't have the ability to lead as well as they could before, which is obviously what is needed. It's just lack of leadership. Because one of the things you asked me before was, what's one of the characteristics that makes up a man who's masculine? I would say it's just taking extreme ownership, right? Once you take extreme ownership, you obviously have the ability to influence situations a lot more. But in terms of dating and stuff like that, there's a lot of men who have just fucking thrown in a towel nowadays and just said, fuck it, it's too difficult. I'm just going to play Fortnite at home, eat Cheetos, have a fucking mustard stain on my beater and just beat the meat every day. They'd rather do that than actually put in the graft. And that's obviously led to women having a shortage of options that are actually viable to them, which obviously leads to increased rates in promiscuity from them getting with multiple different guys and fucking the 10% of men who are attractive enough, although I don't necessarily believe in that 100%. I do believe there is a sliver of truth in that for sure.
Cool.
So what do you think then? You've done a lot of study in this realm as well. What do you think is the main cause of modern day dating being in the state that is? And what do you think of the state of modern day dating today?
Well, I think the state of modern day dating is the worst. Like, I mean, you go on Instagram and there's a video of like a couple and the guy is like, oh, okay, if she had a free pass, or, you know, if you had a free pass as this guy's girlfriend, would you take it? And she's like, yeah, I would. He's like, who would you sleep with? Oh, I'd sleep with this guy. It's like, firstly, like, the fact she even has the audacity to talk that way in front of her man is crazy. And then secondly, the fact that the guy allows her to just disrespect him on camera in front of thousands of people. The fact that guys' mindsets are so, like, they'll simp for a girl, you know, and they actually think that's a good strategy. It's like people just don't understand. Like, they don't understand, you know, it's both sides. Guys don't understand what's quote unquote attractive, and also they lack a lot of self-respect. And secondly, women, you know, a lot of women believe that like being a whore, being overly sexual, etc., is actually like a good thing. You know, that like that's how bad it's got. So, and I think there's a reason for that. I think it goes way back. You know, if you go back to like the 50s, this was unheard of. You know, it was, you get married, you have a family, you have kids, and I think over the years, for various reasons, they've wanted to break that family, you know, the family unit, quote unquote, apart. For gains of different things, you know, for like feminism, or like, you know, because the family unit is what is like the most powerful thing, essentially. Like, if you break the family unit, you essentially break society, because you've got like a broken home, and it causes a lot of issues. Like, a lot of crime can relates back to like not having certain figures in the family, etc. So I don't know. I think there's someone's pulling the strings way up there, but you know, everyone gets a choice. Everyone gets to choose what they do. And I just think, like, you go on TikTok for like 10 minutes, you just see the levels of degeneracy. It's crazy.
So what do you think is the solution then?
I think it will solve itself. I think that, you know, there's that whole saying, like, hard times create strong men create weak times, good times create weak men, etc. So I think it'll be down to the fact that, you know, as men, I wouldn't worry too much about what everyone else is doing. Just focus on yourself. Become the best you can be. Become the best man you can be. Because you only attract what you are at the end of the day. Like, you know, if you act a certain type of way as a man, you will attract a woman that is of high quality. What you have to realize, though, is if you're gonna be a high value man, but also a good man at the same time, you're gonna be in such a small bracket that equally for the women, there'll be such a small bracket of women that can match that. So don't expect to find her straight away. And I think that's where it starts, just setting that standard and just maintaining it, and like meeting.
So men specifically, or women and men both?
Again, I think, you know, this is partly like the why, you know, like you asked me earlier about the why. Like, these kind of podcasts, when a girl sees, maybe she even knows me or whatever, she sees me talking about this stuff, she can understand how my brain works. Because a lot of girls meet me and they look at me and they just think, oh yeah, he's this, he's a fuckboy, or he's this. Like, that's a lot of girls think I'm that type. Like, that's maybe just how I carry myself, like quite a confident individual, but I'm actually not. Like, I choose not to just fall into that. Just because you can do something doesn't always mean you should. And that's partly what it is. It's like just being a leader, being someone to show that there is another way, and like also too, it's just standards. I think if a girl knew that she wouldn't be accepted if she did X, Y, and Z thing, she would clean her act up, if that makes sense. Yeah. But whereas guys are just falling at their feet. Guys are just, you know, girls aren't used to being rejected. They're just not. Like, I've seen it. They're not used to it. They're used to guys groveling and being obsessed with them and like giving them all this time and attention. So I think, that's probably, I don't know, I've kind of gone on a tangent there, but am I making sense? No, you're making sense. I think today's day and age is probably the fucking best time in human history to be a man, because it's so fucking easy to rise up amongst the fucking stream of mediocrity that exists in the world. Genuinely, all you need to do really is just get in shape. Yeah. That's it. I'm not even talking elite level shape. I'm just saying not be fucking obese, and you're already in the top 15% of men. Do you get what I'm saying? If you get into
outlier in extreme shape, you're in the top 5% of men already. Without fucking income, you could be sleeping in your mum's basement. You're going to have girls that are going to be interested in you. And it's never, ever been like that. Before, you need to have resources as well, along with the physique and the physicality. But today's day and age, the standard and the bar is set so fucking low that to be a high value man or to be attractive to women is so fucking easy. Do you get what I'm saying? And this is the thing I don't get about the black pill fucking negativity overall, is that there's so many people out there. It's like, oh, it's so hard for men today. It's the fucking easiest it's ever been. If you cannot win today in the dating market as a man, there's something wrong with you, because it's so fucking easy. Everybody else has just thrown in the towel. So all you need to do is just do a little bit of fucking hard work and you're already there. And people love to say, oh yeah, well, it's easy for you to say you're 6'4", you're a decent looking guy, da, da, da. It's like, why the fuck do I go gym 5 days a week then? If I'm a good looking guy and I'm 6'4", in your humble opinion of me, then why is it that I outwork you in terms of wanting to make money and go to the gym and do these other things that are considered difficult? Why are you not working harder than me? If somebody has a fucking natural advantage over me, best believe I'm going to work 10 times harder than them. But they say, no, you've just got genetics, this and that. I'm working harder than you and I've got genetics. So what the fuck you got to say now?
It's like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah, I got the talent and the hard work, man. Yeah. So you need to work twice as hard then, but you're not. You're sitting at home playing Fortnite.
Yeah, it's what you put in is what you get out. And yeah, but was it always that way? Were you always quote unquote high value?
No. Like, but this is obviously I wasn't there, and this is why I got into this space. I would say initially is because obviously I just wanted to improve my life, and I saw that. It was the first time when I read a book for the first time, it hit me. Okay, I can actually read a book and improve and get better at something, right? And that's never left me from that moment. I must have been around 15, 16 years old. I was like, shit, okay, there's a way where if I study and learn, I can actually improve my condition from where it is today. That was the first step of me jumping on self-improvement. I didn't know at the time where it would lead me, but it was the first moment of realization where I had it was like, well, fuck, it's like what I put in is what I get out kind of thing. Do you get what I'm saying? And in terms of what I want to give back to people in the space or within self-improvement, I want to give them practical tools that they can use within their lives to actually improve. Not fluff and bullshit, but actual practical steps. Okay, do A and you get B result. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I want to give back. And because that is what I think of self-improvement has. I just think it's universal laws and laws of human nature that allow you to better your condition as a man or a woman. I say probably 90% of men's self-improvement journeys start when they want to try and get girls. You get what I'm saying? You're in high school and you're seeing everybody else get some play and you ain't getting no play at all, man. You're like, you know what, let me study some social dynamics online.
Yeah, that's how it started for me.
Well,
like,
of course it did. It starts out of everyone.
Like, do you know what's funny though? Because I remember, I was a simp. Like, like
every guy was a simp though. You need to go through heartbreak to go through that. Unless you had a dad who was fucking based. Yeah. Every guy starts off as a simp and does all of the wrong moves, and it's just a learning curve, right? It's just a learning curve. You got to go through it.
I remember like the first video I ever watched. It was just like how to get out of the friend zone, and my ego was so big. I thought, why would I need to watch that? And then I clocked. I was like, wait, I am in the friend zone. What's going on? And then just watched that video, and I was like, and it's a similar thing where it's like, oh shit, you can actually like change the way you think about things, and it can actually have an effect on your life. And then that was the point where my ego, I was like, I don't need that. Like, let's just learn. And I was about 17 at that point. Yeah. And yeah, from 17 to 18, it was just like a 180, and to the point where people even said like, man, you've changed. Like, what happened to you? You know. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, I think a lot of people they grow up as naturals, and I know a few people like that. They're naturally good at communicating, socializing, and things like that. And other people, it needs to be more of a learned skill. Do you get what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think one's better than the other. I think you get to the end destination regardless of what got you there, essentially, right? But self-improvement gives you the opportunity to go from being somebody that didn't have certain skills to being somebody that does have certain skills. And it comes down to reflection, it comes down to study, and it comes down to obviously having the will to actually learn and put your ego aside, like you said, and be willing to take instruction. You need to be coachable, otherwise you're fucked, essentially.
Yeah, I think we all have like, you know, someone could be like a super skinny guy and have quote unquote good genetics for the gym, but if he doesn't actually lift any weights, he's never going to see the potential at which he can grow. So it's the same thing, I think. And like, we don't always know what we can do. I remember when I first entered the gym, my goal was to bench 100 kg. And it's like, if I can do that in my lifetime, I'll be happy with that. And then didn't take that long until I hit it. And I was like, and I actually hit it for 2 reps. I was like, what the hell? So, you know, now that's like a lightweight to train with. So it's like, you don't even know what you're capable of. And I think we put limitations. A lot of very successful people say like, I wish I'd just set bigger goals, you know, because we don't always hit our goals either. So it's better to shoot high, you know, set a long-term vision and believe anything's possible, and then you know, it's like shoot for the stars, land on the moon. Do you know what I mean? But, but then at the same time, you can only complete a goal in the step you're taking right now. So it's having those smaller goals, those more like digestible goals, you could say.
Yeah.
That lead you to that end result, and it's just that compounding effect every day, just one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. I think that's what people miss. They don't understand that like for every public victory you have, there are thousands and thousands of victories that no one saw. You know, like for a fighter, maybe like they have that one fight where they win, but people didn't see the nights where they were running out at 6 a.m. or doing this or eating this and training this and doing all these things. So it's like our lives are the same. It's if you want to be successful, if you want to have that moment where you are the guy or you do something that people respect, it's like it doesn't just happen. Like you have to actually put the work in when no one's watching to get there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. And this ties in with what you were saying, though, in the beginning. I think where obviously there's a lot of people out there, men specifically, who are seeking brotherhoods, but at the same time, the journey of entrepreneurship specifically is quite a lonely journey. And there are going to be lonely times where you're going to be by yourself and you're going to need to fucking hustle when nobody's looking.
Definitely is a lonely road.
It is a lonely road, but that's every. I haven't met a founder who doesn't say that it is lonely, right? And there's only a few audacious people out there who believe they've got the capacity and the ability to actually achieve monumental success. So you're not going to find people that are very similar to you on that path when you're walking it. And it is going to be lonely at times, but that's just the price you have to pay for what you want out of life. That's just the price on the ticket.
What would you say defines masculinity, in your opinion? And what kind of core traits, core values would come with that?
Obviously, the basic answer is obviously you've got to be able to protect and provide. It's just bare, basic, genetic level, masculine shit that since the dawn of human time was the way men operated. To add to that, I would say if you want something that's a bit more different to that, I would say probably you just taking extreme ownership of your life. And the fact of taking extreme ownership means that you need to lead up and down the chain of command. So if you're within a business, for example, and you're not the boss of the business, you could still be a leader within the business. And that means you've got to lead people above you and people below you, right? So managing expectations from people above you and managing expectations of the team that you're managing below you as well. And that I would say is inherently a very masculine quality. It's just being able to take ownership and say, shit, okay, that's on me. I'm going to deal with it. Even if it's not your situation to deal with 100%, it ties in with what I was saying about responsibility.
Yeah, take full ownership. Yeah.
Yeah. Responsibility, ownership. I would say that is one of the things that I would say is a very masculine trait.
Yeah. I would 100% agree. Yeah. Just owning everything. Like even if it's, in some cases it's not going to be your fault, but even still, like you have to look at like, you know, be fully responsible for your life, you know, because people just want to be a victim. Everyone can make an excuse X, Y, and Z, but no one cares. Like results don't care about that, you know. So,
what do you think defines masculinity?
I would say masculinity is probably like honor. I think is important. You know, the truth, being truthful. You know, not just in terms of like, you know, on a deeper sense, but just in everything you do, like you're seeking the truth, you know, you're honest, you know, if you get your word, like is huge. You know, I think it ties into honor. If you say you're going to do something, you should honor that, you know. Respect, you know, I think as men, you can say all you want about a guy, but as soon as you say, oh, I lost respect for him, that hurts. Like, I don't know if you would agree, but like that cuts deep. So it's like, why is that, you know? And I think that's because innately we value that. Like we don't really care too much. Same with, you know, you ask men, what would they prefer, being loved in a relationship or being respected? And most guys would probably choose to be respected. Like it's all well and good she loves you, but if she doesn't respect you, to a guy, it's like, nah, I want to be respected. You know, even if she doesn't love me, as long as she respects me, like we're cool. So yeah, I think having
in a relationship, 100%, love, respect is 10 times more important than love as a man. 100%. If she does not respect you, you're toast. You're toast. I don't care 100%. How much she loves you. If she doesn't respect you, it's over.
But that's the thing. If she respects you, she will love you. You know, they're kind of attached to each other
to a degree. But I think a woman can love a guy and not respect him.
But I think that's a more conscious woman who's aware, who understands that like she's not always going to feel those hot emotions. You know, most girls date a guy that's like how many girls you spoke to? It's like, oh, my ex was this, my ex is that, and her ex is just this arsehole, like piece of shit guy, and it's like, oh shit, I just swore, but anyway, demonetized. But can you swear on YouTube?
No, I've sworn a lot, man. Fuck you.
but yeah, I think women do a lot of things off emotion. Like that's why initially, like when they first start dating, like they go for these bad boys because it makes them feel a certain type of way. But then they get bitten, they get burnt in the process, and then they go, oh, maybe I should go for a guy who's a little bit more level-headed, a little bit more tame, so to say. But I think you can have both. I think you can be that guy who she feels those emotions for, but also that's not a piece of shit, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
Jordan Peterson actually spoke about that. About why women go for bad boys. I don't know if you've seen that video before. He speaks to Robert Greene about it. It's very interesting. He's saying the reason why when women are younger, in their early or late teens and early 20s, they go for bad boys is because it signifies that they're confident and competent at what they do, or that they're a competent risk taker. And it's a disguise, essentially, that the real bad boys I'm talking about, guys that are fucking like criminals and shit like that, who are not necessarily good people, but they treat her like a piece of shit or whatnot. Guys who are bad boys get a lot of girls who are young women because it's a facade and a mask as to being competent and confident within their abilities to achieve success. The reality of the situation is it is a facade, and a lot of the time that these criminals and these guys who are considered quote unquote bad boys are actually very insecure people. And as the woman ages in the relationship with the guy, if he doesn't go to prison or get himself into big trouble, she eventually finds out that he's got a lot of insecurities. And then she transitions to actually try and find somebody that is confident and competent in their abilities, who's legitimately the real deal. Do you get what I'm saying? But they fall for it when they're younger. Do you get what I'm saying? It's very interesting that happens to them. It's naivety.
Yeah.
And when you go through a few guys in the beginning, you go through that state. I know, honestly, man, I know some girls, stunning, who've fallen for bad boys, who are not that guy really. Do you get what I'm saying? But it's a facade. They maybe drive the flashy car. They're a drug dealer, this, that, and the third. Then the wheels fall off. The wheels fall off, man, at some point for these guys. And that's why, they obviously end up moving on to legitimate guys who are in legitimate business and things like that at some stage. I wanted to ask you seem to be the guy when it comes to NoFap, semen retention, that whole world. You were obviously in a relationship for a few years, I believe, if I'm correct. Did you practice semen retention within your relationship? And if so, why? And what were the benefits to you?
I didn't know. So that's a lot of people like, so wait, what? Like, do you not have sex? Like, man, like and to be honest, at that point in time, my value, when I got with my last partner, like I didn't have the same value system I do now. Like I'm a whole different person. Like, you know, I didn't really have everything laid out what I was looking for. I didn't have the confidence and the self-esteem to walk away from something that I wasn't sure about.
Okay.
I mean, no disrespect to her or anything, but like, it was just a different time. I was quite immature, quite naive. I just didn't have that self-esteem. Whereas now I do. Like, I can understand. As I've got older, I can see now. Like, I was trying to live up to the bad boy. Like, I was so into the red pill. I was like pretending. I would really think about my messages and like try to be something I'm not. And for anyone out there, don't waste your energy. Like, it is the dumbest thing you'll ever do.
So do you recommend studying the red pill, or do you think the red pill's bad for men?
I think it's retarded. I think it's just like it's kind of like, put it this way, like it's like studying how to not get robbed. But it's like, why not just live in an area where no one gets robbed? It's kind of like the philosophy. It's like you're learning how to deal with bad women. If you just get a good woman, all these problems, like it's like the saying, you can't solve a problem at the level at which it was created.
Yeah.
So, and that's what the red pill is. It's teaching you how to deal with quote unquote hoes. It's teaching you how to deal with girls that don't understand respect, don't have values, and like Fresh and Fit promotes it. And they don't. There's lots of women out there that are actually, very you like they say, oh, you can cheat on her, have a rotation and stuff, but some girls won't accept that, and like they don't highlight that, they don't bring that up, and that's the kind of quality of women I'm seeking out. And I've realized the red pill does have some things that do carry over to that, I do believe, but for the most part, it all stems from a place of insecurity, I would say. However, I do think I'd rather know it than not. You know what I mean?
That answer,
you're not expecting that?
No, I wasn't expecting that, to be fair, because I think there is a lot of value in studying the red pill, but you need to study it in a way that's very impartial and unemotional. That's what fucking kills you, is when you start to get emotional about things. Yeah. And I think you need to look at the red pill and pick out the bones from it that literally lead you towards studying human nature. That, to me, is what the red pill is.
Yeah.
Because the red pill essentially is just discovering the laws of intersexual dynamics in human nature between men and women. And obviously people put their biases on that, maybe when you're watching a Fresh and Fit, but whether you're dating a girl who's a virgin her whole life, or you're dating a woman that has,
I think that's quite unrealistic, like, the
whole dating, I know, but the point I'm trying to make, is the fact that whether you're dating a virgin or you're dating a girl who slept with 100 different guys, their biology is similar as women, right? And the red pill will teach you about that biology in terms of what they're looking for. Do you get what I'm saying? In terms of, obviously, not standing for disrespect.
I think it's also what are your goals too? Like for me, it sounds weird, but I'm pretty sure I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, the next girl I'm with, I just want to make that. I want to make her my wife. And I could go out and I could do all that stuff, but it's like, in the longer term, I think it makes more sense to build that relationship as younger the better. And then that's, they say like married men the whole marriage thing is like, I think if you know what you're doing, you'll have a good marriage. A lot of guys don't, like, it's like we talked about earlier, like they get married, but they're quote unquote betas. They don't know how to lead. They don't know what she actually wants. They don't, they're not satisfying her in the relationships, and no wonder their marriage is terrible. I think when you actually know what you're doing, marriage could be a good thing. Like if you get, but it's about finding the right woman. Like,
so you want to get married?
Yeah, I do, but to the right woman. And look, I'm quite an idealistic person, so I could be talking out my ass right now, but like, I just think if you really take the time and you put the right things in place, like if you really, like, if you actually have the right things in place, certain standards, certain things you look for. It's not like I'm just going to wife someone up. Like it could take a very long time to get to a point where I'm like, okay, this is the one I want to be with. And I think if you don't feel 100% about someone, why would you marry them, type thing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously marriage is a very hotly debated topic amongst
you don't even, I mean, you can call it marriage if you want. Like that's the label, but like, yeah, that's kind of like the social construct, but like what it actually is, it's two people coming together and just sticking together and being a team. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
No, 100%. For me, the argument, I've never wanted to get married before.
You have a different perspective to me, I'm talking from my perspective.
Yeah.
And also a lot of this stuff is theory, it's idealistic. Like we will see what happens.
Alice in Wonderland kind of theory.
Yeah.
Cinderella story.
But I know the kind of guy I am, like, with my last partner, like I could have kept that relationship going. I just knew it wasn't right for me. So I ended it.
Why did you end the relationship?
Good question, man. It's getting deep. It's getting deep.
He's getting red now.
I ended it because firstly, it just didn't feel right in my soul. I knew it wasn't right. And it kind of just got to a tipping point where it was causing more issues for her than it was me. Okay. And I was like, I have to kind of cut the cord. I was always trying to convince myself mentally, like, you stay with her. But it just every part of my body was just like, nah, this isn't right. And I think I could have left a lot earlier than I did, but I think I was just scared to. It's just not an easy thing to do. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not an easy thing to end a long relationship you have with someone.
Oh man, the
and
comfort.
You know all about
that. Yeah. Fuck, man. Like when I was in my last relationship, it took me a long time to fucking finally call it a day. It took a conversation with my best friend one day. I'll never forget it. It was on the ropes for 6 months, and there was a lot of bullshit going on in the relationship that wasn't right. And then one day he said to me, Carter, always remember, you have to be willing to walk away from the woman. 2 weeks later, the relationship was over. It was done. never spoke to, well, I did speak to her again. Obviously, we went through a bit of a phase after that, but that was the day where it was like, fucking hell. Yeah, you have to be willing to walk away. And that, as a man, is the most important thing that you need to hold on to, is you have the ability to walk away. And that's your biggest...
Yeah, it's probably one of those principles. One of
that
those
is the biggest principle I feel as a man in a relationship is always
I think
in
general. I think in general, like, if you'd have been disrespected, just walk away. That's why I went into business, because I was like, I don't like being... Because, you know, if you're relying on someone from an income and they, oh, you're this, you're a fucking piece of shit. It's like, you have to suck that up, because you know it's the only place you're making money. Yeah. When you quit your job, you can say, fuck you, you didn't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
What's changed since your last relationship then? What's one of the biggest takeaways that you've had since your last relationship?
Probably, like, same thing what you just said, being able to walk away. Like, I'll go on a date with a girl, and it sounds kind of psycho. I've got a freaking list. And, like, if she doesn't tick all the boxes, I have to be strict with it. I'm like, nah, this isn't what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Because I just believe there's 7 billion people on this earth. And I think, again, same thing what I said, like, follow your own path in life. Like, if it's right, you will know 100%. I think a lot of guys settle these days for women. You want to feel like, I want this woman. Yeah. I want her. And I think there are levels to compromise. I can't look for a perfect girl, because I'm not a perfect man, you know? But I think in your heart, you'll just know, like, nah, this is who I want to be with. And it's not like this a lovey-dovey thing, because there has to be a logical element to it too, you know? You could love someone, but logically it's like, okay, this makes no sense. But it's about finding that balance and just being sure, rather than, and like just being able to walk away from, you know, different girls and just being okay with that, you know? Just like not getting hung up on it, you know, not chasing after them. If it's right, it's right, you know? And just being forthright, like, when I meet a girl, just say, look, I find you attractive, I want to take you on a date, and just be a man. Like, that's what being a man is.
I think what you're hitting on and what we're talking about in terms of being willing to walk away is so key. And I think to a degree, you need to go into relationships with realistic expectations of people. We're human beings, right? And there's a lot of opportunities for people to date other people, and you have to be willing to face the fact that at some point you or your partner might want to walk away from the relationship, right? And there's a saying, they say, whatever you try and own ends up owning you at some point.
Yeah.
So when you try and own the relationship or own your partner and say, yeah, she's mine, I'm not going to live without her, or he's mine, I can't live without him, you've binded yourself mentally. Do you get what I'm saying? You go into a relationship with a mindset of, okay, we're going to take it one day at a time, 1 year at a time. I'm going to try and fulfill them. They're going to try and fulfill me. You have a much higher probability of the relationship being fulfilling. And if for whatever reason it doesn't go to plan, you're not going to have that fucking envy and jealousy and bullshit that comes after it. If you have that kind of healthy, realistic expectation of each other.
Yeah. It's two complete people coming together. Like
100%.
It's like everyone's looking for that other person to fill the gap. But it's like, you have to be complete. You have to be independent.
You have to.
And that's what makes the best relationship, you know?
So
there's not that neediness between each other.
Have you read the book Conversations with God? I've mentioned
I haven't. I've heard of it.
Fuck, man, you need to read that book. Yeah. But one of the sayings they say in the book Conversations with God is that the perfect relationship is where two people that are complete come together, or is where two people come together not so they can complete each other, but so that they can share their completeness with each other.
Yeah.
And that's key. That is what a power couple is. If you look at a Beyonce and Jay-Z, across all 7 areas of life, that could be health, wealth, wisdom, spirituality, family, socially, business-wise, they're very complete in each of their rights. And then they come together. That's when you get a fucking Jay-Z and Beyonce situation.
What I was talking about earlier, that's exactly what I'm referring to. Like, that's what I'm looking for. Like, I'm looking for my equal, not someone I have to lift up, have to carry, and vice versa, you know?
Yeah.
And to be fair, I've met some good girls. Like, I have genuinely met some girls. I'm like, damn, yeah, you're cool. Like, you're different, you know, not just in terms of looks. Like, looks obviously is an important factor, but like also personality, values, you know, those types of things.
So what's the main value that you look for in a woman then?
Probably
all of the ladies out there, take notes.
Yeah, listen up. Probably loyalty, respect is the main thing. That's what I need. I just need a woman I can trust, that I know she's not going to go out.
If she's an idiot, but she's loyal, do you want that?
Do you know what? That's a good question. Probably not. I think I believe, you know, I would consider myself a fairly intelligent individual. So I would like someone to be able to match that emotionally, intellectually, and probably spiritually as well, you know, at least to a degree. Like, but we'll see, you know, we'll see. But yeah, I think intelligence is an important thing. But women, you know, that can only go so far again. Like, women are emotion-based creatures. They're not as logical as men. So So there's going to be different things you're going to be a bit more logical. You're going to be able to handle certain situations better. And then vice versa. She's going to be more emotional. She's going to be more emotionally in tune to you. And what about yourself though? Have you given much thought to this? Like
in terms of values I like?
Yeah, what values do you look for?
I was having this chat with my friend the other day. Both my friends actually, very, very close people to me. For me, I think a lot of it comes down to their ability to not be attached to their emotions as much as they are naturally. I think if you're able to detach from your emotions, that allows you to hold truth a lot more, because it's hard to have difficult conversations and tell the truth. It is a very, very difficult thing. Jeff Bezos recently done an interview with Lex Friedman. He talks about that. He says within Amazon, they try and encourage a culture of truth telling, which goes against human nature. Because obviously you go along to get along, and that allows you to obviously procreate and make money and things like that. But to tell the truth actually goes against your human nature. So finding a woman who has the ability to tell the truth and have truthful conversations with you leads to a higher functioning family unit and relationship between you and her, because you can have difficult conversations when they need to be had, and you know she's not going to react emotionally to it or fuck up the relationship or fuck up the family dynamic that you got going on.
And they always get had, whether you like it or not. You know, if you try and dodge a difficult conversation, you're going to have it at some point.
It comes on.
So you might as well just bite the bullet and just. You know, it's easy to say these things, but when it comes down to it, it's more difficult.
But we'll sign off, man. Any last words?
Oh man, yeah, it's been a good chat, and I know nothing specific.
What are your social channels, man?
So yeah, Instagram is Ben L Jeffrey, and the YouTube is, well, you can find my YouTube through Instagram, but it's Benjamin Jeffrey, and yeah, TikTok Ben L Jeffrey. So
fantastic. For
and
me,
yourself,
Carter Christie on TikTok and Carter Pennant on Instagram and X.
And X.
It's weird saying that now, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been good, and yeah, hopefully do this again.
Brilliant.
Cool, man. Get the handshake in. Sweet.